Welcome to Soulful Connect.
Here, we bring stories to life that spark inspiration and connect us all. Through narratives of resilience, courage, and unity, we celebrate the human spirit and its boundless potential. Let Jack's story remind you of the power of vision and perseverance. If this tale moved you, like, share, and subscribe to join our growing community of changemakers. Share your own story of hope in the comments below. And together, let's create ripples of inspiration that unite and uplift us all. What would you do if your town, your livelihood, and your family's future were on the verge of collapse? Imagine waking up every day knowing the land you've relied on for generations has turned against you. This is the story of Jack, a farmer in the small town of Greenhaven, who faced these impossible odds and became an unexpected hero. His determination, his vision, and his unyielding spirit turned despair into hope and inspired an entire community to dream again. Jack was no stranger to hardship. As a third-generation farmer in Greenhaven, he had spent his life working the fields, watching the seasons dictate his family's future. Life here had always been challenging, but it was predictable until the drought struck. The once fertile soil turned to dust. The air, once filled with the sweet scent of crops, carried only the weight of loss. Families who had lived here for decades packed their belongings, searching for better opportunities elsewhere. For Jack, the stakes were deeply personal. His fields had been his family's lifeline for generations. Every seed planted was a promise, every harvest a testament to hard work. But now, his crops had withered, his livestock was thinning, and the well his grandfather had dug was bone dry. Jack wasn't just losing his livelihood, he was losing his identity. Yet, in the quiet despair of a sleepless night, a thought began to form. A vision of something greater. Jack's vision wasn't just about survival, it was about renewal. He began thinking about the power of water and how it could transform not just his farm, but the entire town. At the next community meeting, Jack presented his idea, a reservoir that could collect rainwater and serve as a lifeline for the town. The room fell silent. His neighbors looked at him with skepticism, some shaking their heads. "Jack, we appreciate your optimism," an elder finally said. "But this isn't a movie. We don't have the resources, the tools, or even the energy for something so ambitious." But Jack didn't back down. "If we don't act now," he said, his voice firm, "we'll lose everything. I'll start on my own if I have to." It wasn't just words. Jack meant every syllable. That night, he took a shovel, walked to a piece of land on the edge of town, and began digging. At first, Jack was alone. The days were long, the sun unforgiving. His hands blistered and his back ached, but he refused to stop. Slowly, the whispers began. "What's he doing? Has Jack lost his mind?" But as the days turned into weeks, something incredible happened. A neighbor showed up with a pickaxe. Then another brought a bucket. Before long, Jack wasn't digging alone. A handful of neighbors had turned into dozens. The challenges came in waves. The ground was hard, littered with rocks and roots that tested their patience. The sun was merciless, and their tools were old and worn. There were moments of doubt, especially when progress seemed painfully slow. One evening, as the group sat exhausted by the trench, a young man said, "What if this doesn't work? What if we're wasting our time?" Jack looked at the group, his face weathered but resolute. "Every bucket of dirt we move gets us closer. Giving up now would mean we've already lost." His words rekindled their resolve. Then came the rains. At first, it was just a drizzle, but soon it turned into a downpour. The villagers rushed to the reservoir, their hearts pounding. Would it hold? As the trench began to fill with water, cheers erupted. People danced in the rain, their laughter mixing with the sound of water rushing into the reservoir. Jack stood at the edge, drenched but smiling, tears streaming down his face. It wasn't just water they had collected, it was hope. The reservoir didn't just save the town, it transformed it. With water came life. Fields that had lain barren now teemed with green. Crops thrived, livestock flourished, and the community began to rebuild. Jack's farm, once on the brink of collapse, became a model of success. His wife, who had stood by him through sleepless nights and endless worry, finally saw the joy return to his face. His children walked the fields, their laughter echoing across the land. But the reservoir wasn't just about Jack's family. It was about Greenhaven as a whole. The town came together like never before. Neighbors who had once been strangers worked side by side, building something that would outlast them all. And as word of their success spread, nearby towns visited Greenhaven, seeking advice and inspiration. Standing on his porch, looking out at the lush fields and shimmering reservoir, Jack reflected on the journey. This wasn't just about water, he said to a group of young farmers gathered to learn from him. This was about believing in something bigger. Jack's story is a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. Greenhaven isn't just a town, it's a symbol of what we can achieve when we refuse to give up, when we dream bigger, and when we stand together. As Jack walked through the fields, greeted by neighbors whose lives he helped change, he looked up at the water tower where someone had painted the words, "Hope grows where courage leads." Jack's story reminds us all that even in the darkest moments, one person's determination can spark a movement. What's your story of standing against the odds? Share it, because you never know who might be inspired by your journey. Let me share 3 things this journey taught me. Lesson 1. Vision leads the way. When I stood up at that meeting and shared my idea, people thought I was crazy. But a dream can't become a reality without someone willing to see it first. Lesson 2. Community is strength. I couldn't have done this alone. It was the hands, hearts, and hope of everyone here that made this possible. When we work together, we can achieve the impossible. Lesson 3. Perseverance pays off. There were so many moments I wanted to quit. When my hands bled, when people doubted, when the rains seemed like they'd never come. But every step forward brought us closer to success. Never underestimate the power of sticking with something, even when it feels impossible. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of resilience and hope. Stories like Jack's remind us of the power of vision, community, and perseverance. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Soulful Connect, for more heartwarming tales. Share this video with someone who needs a little inspiration today, and tell us in the comments, any other lessons learned or story to tell? What dream are you building, even if it seems impossible? Together, let's inspire change.